Hey, this is JC. Welcome to Urban Knife Guy, where we explore the urban lifestyle and jungle survival. Today, I'm going to give you my 9-month review of the LionSteel M4, and I'll give you my thoughts on using it and maintaining it. First, if you watch this channel regularly but have not subscribed, please do so to help the channel out. And if you'd like to support the channel even more, do check out my shop links in the pinned comment or description below. You can even join as a channel member for exclusive content. Thanks a lot. So I've done a few videos on the M4, basically the initial review, as well as field testing it. You can check out those links in the description below. So I've used this extensively and I've actually brought it out with me almost every time I've gone to the jungle in the last 9 months. So why did I choose this particular knife in the first place? Mainly because I decided to downsize my belt knife because I do carry a larger knife in the form of a parang. So I do believe in a multi-knife system when you go out. So I definitely have one big knife, what I call my dirty knife, that's the parang, and then I also want a smaller belt knife for finer work and what I consider my clean knife. So definitely there should be a big size difference. So if the parang is 10 inches long, there's no point carrying an 8-inch fixed blade because then it basically just replicates what the parang does, and I want something that complements and does not replicate. So I should mention that I did change the sheath from the original sheath, which is leather, very well made, but in the climate I'm in the Southeast Asia jungle, it's wet, it's humid, it's damp. You know, I do not want a leather sheath. Even though this is stainless steel, I prefer Kydex, easier to deploy and put back with one hand as well. So this is a custom-made Kydex sheath by Meran Knives in Malaysia. Unfortunately, he can't take overseas orders because you would need to ship the knife to him, which is possible, but he can't ship it out to you because Malaysia doesn't allow the export of knives to just individual consumers. But he made this knife. I sent him the M4, great fit and finish. It's got a drainage hole, large thumb ramp, which I like. This particular one is 2mm thick Kydex. This is a raptor finish, and with a carbon fiber, some just ornate decoration for the ferro rod. So this is the setup I like. This goes onto my belt, just really nice, and just works well for my needs. Now let's talk about the knife specifically. So this is the M4, it's M390 steel, and this is dark green canvas micarta handles. It comes in various colors. Also I believe comes in G10 and wood scales. So basically different handles to suit your different preference. Now I personally like canvas micarta. Again, in this climate there's a lot of perspiration, so want something that can grip, and then this also absorbs the oils from your hands. So just overall, I think it just textures very well. I do admit I did put linseed oil initially just to give it that darker, richer look because it was originally a lighter green, and just over time I like how it ages as it absorbs more dirt and more oil and just has that very nice, rich, dark green look. So I think that works well. Now, besides just downgrading the knife in terms of size, I still wanted a functional knife that would serve me well for bushcraft, which is basically what I'm doing when I go out. It's not a survival knife. This is a companion belt knife, and it's just to help with wood processing, which is what I'll do mainly, as well as general cutting needs, whether it's cutting rope, twine, vines, food packaging, and of course let's say doing feather sticking or just doing delimbing of very small branches. So this is supposed to be a multi-purpose knife, but not a survival knife. And I like this particular design because it's a very high saber grind, almost a full flat grind, but they do have versions of knives of similar size from LionSteel which are full flat grinds. In fact, my M3, different size and different blade shape, but that sports a full flat grind. I do like this wedge just a bit. It has that, gives it a bit more strength in my opinion before it goes down, so you still can batten smaller pieces of wood with this and just feel confident in hand. And the shape, this is more of a, it's a drop point but very close to a spear point, fairly narrow. Again, for me, I find this easier when doing tasks. The M3 is a bit beefier and it's got a, I'll say a more curved, swollen belly, and I just find this is more effective, especially if I'm maintaining for sharpening, just getting that right angle for a very sharp I won't call it sharp, but very rounded belly, just makes it for manual freehand sharpening just a bit more difficult to get it even. This is slightly easier from the maintenance point of view. Ergos are good, so doing anything, whether it's just doing notches, whether it's just stripping off bark or cutting, it's just comfortable. Really no real hot spots are found. As demonstrated in my previous video, you can strike a ferro rod over here. This is crowned, meaning it's rounded, so you can't really strike a ferro rod too easily, but I would use a scraper. I don't usually use this to strike a ferro rod. But it is my general belt knife, and let's talk about the steel now. M390, this is a really good steel in terms of corrosion resistance. That's I guess the best property of this particular steel. It also retains its edge well and is fairly tough within its class, but corrosion resistance definitely is right high up there, and again in this jungle environment that actually is very good. Now in terms of maintenance, I felt edge retention was pretty good. I did find there were micro, I won't call them chips, but definitely burrs, meaning when I used it and then when I go back home and I try doing a paper slicing test, it would not cut as cleanly, it would catch. So I've actually touched it up a few times, and you need diamond plates for that. So I just use 1000 grit, and that basically gets out those micro deformations, and then I strop. I also strop in between each time I come back, so I don't always sharpen with the diamond stones unless there's some form of deformation or I find the edge going. If not, I'm always just generally stropping, right? Just to keep that keen. So maintenance actually has been quite easy. It doesn't take much time. I would say stropping maybe takes me 15 minutes, and then if I have to add in the stone, maybe only another 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. It's really not that bad, but I've never let it gone completely blunt and then trying to sharpen it again. So if there's any unevenness to the grind now, that's purely due to me with that hand sharpening. But other than that, it is actually pretty sharp. Let's get some paper. All right, let's see how well it slices. That's pretty good. Still a little bit of that micro deformation, you can see right there. It did catch just a bit, yeah, but same part right there, but still, yeah, very sharp and slices well. Now personally for me, I'm happy with a working edge on my bushcraft knife. It doesn't have to cut paper, in my opinion. It's just, I guess, something you like to do when you're maintaining your knife. But if you're talking about keeping a working edge, absolutely no problem with just stropping it, even without sharpening it. So in closing, after these 9 months, I can say that in terms of functionality, it absolutely can do anything you need it to do from a bushcraft point of view. Not necessarily survival, you aren't going to chop a tree with this. It's also very comfortable, as mentioned, in terms of ergos. Very discreet as well, because when this goes onto my belt and it's actually back in between my pouches, no one can really see it, so it doesn't look offensive at all. And maintenance as well, absolutely no maintenance needed for corrosion resistance, although I would always dry my knife and then I still oil it and maintain it every time I come back from the field. And in terms of stropping and sharpening, really not too difficult. Now compared to the Nylock steel, which is on the M3 and also another popular steel that LionSteel uses, I found that the M390 is easier to maintain. Let me know what you think. Do you own both steels from LionSteel, M390 and Nylock's? Do you find one is easier to maintain in terms of sharpening than the other? Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Well, I hope you enjoyed this 9-month review of the LionSteel M4. I would definitely recommend this knife if you're looking for a smaller knife, like a 4-inch blade for outdoor adventures or bushcraft. It will definitely serve you well. I can imagine this lasting a very long time. If you use it, you know, as you should a knife and not abuse it, this should last a lifetime. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like the content in general, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.